Hey guys, this is Kelly. I am back with my second process video for Cocoa Daisy this month. I'm using their November kit called Sprinkles, and I also have some of the Day in the Life cards, and I may be using some of the extra pattern paper as well. I'm not sure um, if a couple of the sheets, which kit they came in. So the theme of this kit is sprinkles and donuts and cupcakes and cakes and things like that. And I have had this picture, this was an Instagram picture, I believe, from a while ago. And it's just of, we have a donut shop that just opened maybe about a year ago. Um, that's pretty close to us, and the donuts are amazing. And I took a picture of it, or of like a dozen of the donuts that I had, and just knew that I had it and wanted to scrapbook this photo. And I thought that what I would do is just in the journaling document which of the donuts, were air favorites. Just as something neat to document, a little bit different than, some of my other pages. And I have to say that in the end, I just really love the way this layout turned out. So this, like a Madras Plaid paper, is a Cocoa Daisy exclusive paper, as well as the sprinkle paper that you see on the background. And I'm going to go back and forth quite a few times between this donut card and the one on the right. And I can't decide which one to use, and I finally just make up my mind. I make my decision. So I know that I want to back these few layers with another pattern paper. And I do shop around the kit for quite a bit. Like I said, this was my second layout that I made with the kit, and it usually takes me two, if not three layouts to really get in a groove with the kit, just because I can look and see, what things I have in the kit, but it's different when I finally get to using them and cutting into the pattern papers and just pulling out with and playing with the embellishments. I know I'm not the only one, and I really can't even give a good reason why it's that way other than it just is. So I decided at this point that I want to cut down my pattern paper, or my cardstock, and I want to back it with some pattern paper. And I very quickly decide that I'm going to use this pattern paper right here, and I really wish that I had two of these. So I am going to off camera cut out the middle of that background paper. The other side is the Dear Lizzie side with all the cute little birds. And if you have been a follower of mine for a while, you know how much I love birds and bird paper. So I am going to gut it. So I decided to use these Evalicious letter stickers, and I'm going to have the title be We Love Doughnuts, because it is true. We are a donut loving family. I cannot bring these into the house very often because we really go through them, and I cannot allow myself to buy them often because I can easily eat two, if not three, and then of course feel so bad afterwards because I just ingested like 1,000 calories. Yeah, so it's just a little fun treat that we do every now and then. So that's where I just gutted the back of that paper, and I decide that I want to make that turquoise piece of paper a little bit longer, and just cutting it in half and stretching it across the paper layers is a way that you can make a smaller piece of paper appear bigger to your eye, and it just also helps to stretch your stash, especially if you don't have anything a little bit larger. So I've got my title on wax paper, and I love, love, love this trick that I got from Tracy Banks, also known as Mercy Tierra. And what I really like about it is that you can move around the letters, and just like I cut this title in half for the dough nut part, just so I could see how it would look to split up the title. So I went ahead and used some craft foam to pop my photo up and put it on top of a doily. And here's where I'm playing with the other card, and I think it says whatever sprinkles your donuts. And I love that card as well. And I really had a hard time deciding. But in the end, I'm going to go back to the one with the donuts. I had to have that one. So at this point, I'm kind of looking at the layers and I really want to pop them up, and I feel like that they're not getting lost on the page, but that it needs something else. So in just a minute, you're going to see that I pull the layers off and I get a pen, and I'm going to go ahead and use some a black pen to outline it. And I think a 0.5 thickness. I really wanted it to have some weight. And so I'm going to do that just to add some weight to the layers. And that really makes a huge, huge difference for me when I'm looking at the page. So what I do is I just flip the cardstock over, and that way if my pen accidentally goes off the pattern paper, it's just on the back of the layout and you won't be able to see it. So I do a couple of lines across each one. I think it's like 2 or 3 lines. And I like that because it's a little bit bolder, and it also doesn't matter if your line is not straight, because then it appears like you have drawn it just like you intended and not as a crooked line. So I am going to go ahead and I did the white cardstock as well. And I felt like that just really helped to frame all of the things that I wanted on the page, and it just makes everything stand out. So one of the other things that I like with this is the fact that you can trim down the wax paper to really see if you can fit your title where you want it. And I wanted to see if I could get it on there. And I am such a visual person that I can't have a bunch of excess paper. I really want to see how it's going to look. So that's one nice thing about the wax paper, is that you can trim it down fairly close to your letters. This gorgeous, gorgeous washi tape is from the Day in the Life kit. And here's my kitty Juliet. She makes an appearance and she stays in for a while. I put her down, she jumps back up, and I will put her back in my lap, and you'll see her hanging out for a while in the video. She was just being too sweet, and I really wanted to scrapbook, so that was kind of how I was able to do it. So you'll see her head and her paw poke out in just a minute, because she, has to make her little appearance as well. So I'm getting the letters stuck down, and I am going to use my T-square ruler just to make sure that the title is going on straight, and I'm going to adhere the background papers as well, and that way I can line up everything. So when I'm looking back at this layout, I cannot believe that I did not adhere these layers sooner than I did. Usually it drives me nuts to have my layers moving around on me. I think it was just because I was so indecisive with which Day in the Life card that I wanted to use, that I just really wanted to wait before I stuck things down. So at this point is when I am really loving the way that it's coming together. This is exactly what I wanted for this page. Just, something lighthearted, something fun. And I'm going to type the journaling out, and I use the traveling typewriter font, and that is a free download. I think maybe I got it from defont.com, and I just typed out my journaling, and it reads, "Donuts are one of our favorite treats to have. Emily's favorite is chocolate with sprinkles. Patrick's is anything chocolate, and Mike's favorite is chocolate iced. Raspberry filled, Boston cream, chocolate, and glazed. I love them all. Yes, I am not the picky one when it comes to donuts, and that's what gets me in trouble." So I am taking this Dear Lizzie pattern paper, and I cut out one of the cameras. I just think it is so cute. Cameras always go on pages because you are obviously taking photographs. So this right here is a it's a PDF of stickers that are included in the kit. The stickers weren't quite ready when the design team kits were sent out, so I'm just using the PDFs, but the actual kit will have stickers. And I just cut out the cutest little arrow, and it just says noted on top of it, and I just love the way that it points and points to the title, and it nestles right underneath. So for the journaling, I just trimmed the strips up fairly thin because I want it to be light. Um, I love the airiness of this layout, even though it does have, a few patterns and, a heavier title. But for me, it just feels very light, and I was just really liking the way that it looked. So the few other things that I add, I'm going to add some flair. The two flair that I add, one of them says hello with a donut on it, and the other one says yum with a bunch of little hearts. It is so, so cute, and they both are so fitting for this page. The other thing is I add the sequins from Spiegel Mom Scraps. I am just on a sequin fetish. I love them. I just love using them on my pages, even if it's just a couple. And it's just something to me that adds so much detail, but it's really not a big thing, if that makes any sense. So I just pulled out a couple that I sprinkled around the page, and this little sequin mix also has these teeny tiny stars. And when I say teeny and tiny, I mean teeny tiny. And somehow I managed to glue those on as well. And just, it's obviously easier. So here is where I'm just going to go ahead and get the sequin stuck down, and I just wanted to put it out there in case anyone has any suggestions. I have the Ranger Multi-Matte Medium that I use and that I love, and apparently it comes in two small bottles. Well, one bottle that has a brush, which is the one that I have, and then a smaller bottle that you can just squeeze out the tiny amount. If anyone knows if I can buy just that plain bottle, I had heard that it doesn't work. The Ranger Multi-Matte Medium does not work in the fine line bottles. So if you know of something else that I can put that in, please let me know, because the multi-matte medium with the brush just drives me crazy, and it's just so hard to use, but I love it and I want to use it. But like these stars were so tiny, I couldn't do that. I had to use my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive. So this is pretty much it for me. I am going to use my date stamp and stamp the date on the Hello Sweet Stuff label that's on top, but in the end I'm not going to like that, and it gets tucked underneath after the camera goes off, and I'm going to just go back with the date underneath the journaling. And that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I have lots of close-ups at the end where you can see the little details of the layout. And I just want to thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.